All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, before we get going, I'm just going to go ahead and open us up in prayer and then we will get the show on the road. God, I just thank you so much for this group of ladies and just for the chance to hop on together tonight to have this work session. I just thank you for this brand new team and just the ways that you're working and the ways that you're challenging us to grow in different ways and pushing ourselves out of our comfort zones. I just pray tonight that as we get to work, Lord, that you would just give us confidence and excitement to continue to work hard in this space. I pray for anything too that's just going on with our mindset that might be holding us back or just different fears or hesitations that we have, that you would just replace those with your confidence and your peace, and just reminding us that we truly can serve our friends, we can serve our society with these clean products that so many people need and that are going to ultimately help them feel so much better. So I just pray for this call. I thank you that Christy is able to join us tonight and just pray that you would speak through her, and just pray that we'd have a productive session together. We do just pray for the hurricane that's coming to Florida tonight. God, for all those in the path of the hurricane, we pray that for their protection and just that you would put a hedge of protection around everyone involved. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, so go ahead and get started. So I asked my upline, Christy Lyons, to come on the call tonight. I don't think a lot of you have met her. A few of you have early on, but I'm really excited to have her on. She is from Houston, and she was sort of like the first one to lead the way over to Shackley from where I came from, Body. And I sort of watched her for, I mean, what, 3 years? Is that how long you've been at Shackley? 3 or a little over 3, something like that?
3.5 years,
3.5.
yes.
Okay. So I watched her and I would like creep on her every once in a while. But my timing just wasn't quite there until the summer. But I was always really impressed by her because she was always sharing about Shackley in a way that like wasn't downing anyone else, but she was always just like sharing what was so great about it. And so anyway, I've learned so much from her already in the last 3, 4 months. And one of the things that I really respect about her is she's extremely good at like relationships and building those in-person relationships. She does plenty on social media, but she actually grows a lot of her business in person as well. And I just think that's so cool because sometimes we get so far into the social media side that we forget there's so much opportunity right in front of us, and you can do it in an authentic way that doesn't feel gross. Um, but I just asked her to come on because we're at this like month end push. And I said, hey, could you just like give us your top pointers for hitting goals towards the end of the month? And anything that might be helpful for you guys. I also thought it would be fun for her to share a little bit of her story and how she decided to come over, because her story is actually very different in that she left Body at like the height of her business and decided like just I'll let her share that. But anyway, just really been inspired by her. She has, I mean, she'll tell you, but blown her income out of the water from where she was at with Body. And so that's always been really encouraging to me. But she also shoots it really straight. Like she's not gonna BS you or like make things seem like easier than they are. Like she will always tell you it takes hard work, but what's possible here is really incredible. Um, Before I hand it over to her, I wanted to share this first, Christy, because you and I had talked about maybe some sort of an end of the month incentive. So I wanted to share that I had just like this evening chatted with corporate about an end of the month incentive. So this is something that Christy has done for her team over the years, and she's been really helpful in helping me navigate like how to ask corporate for things or like what helps or what's good. And so anyway, for this month I'm really excited because I was chatting with corporate, kind of just telling them, all right, so here's what I'm noticing. First of all, is that beauty products are like so hot, which is so funny because coming from health and wellness, like I never thought like I would be selling so much beauty products. but it's like they sort of sell themselves, and it's all connected because the whole clean beauty thing, I mean, it's part of overall wellness. But what I'm finding is that when people try like one of our items, one of our beauty items, they're like hooked and they want to try something else. So I was like, well, how could we kind of offer a gift in that capacity where it's like, okay, maybe you're interested in the health and fitness, which a lot of our people are, like they're drawn to the health and fitness, but then you also can sort of have a taste of what we have to offer for the beauty. And I was talking to Christine earlier today too about this, and she had the idea of sort of positioning it with like, okay, so let's kind of encourage them to get started with the nutrition, and then you can have a beauty product on us, a gift on us. And so what we're gonna do, because I also really want us to focus on new customers and the Star Club bonuses, because that's where you guys are gonna earn a lot of income in the beginning. So for the rest of the month, starting tomorrow, whenever you sell a Ready Set Wellness bundle, you can offer a free beauty gift, and they can choose between the cleanser, the mascara, or the BB cream. So I was kind of trying to figure out like what things would be kind of enticing. And I think that those three things are really interesting because sometimes we don't spend money on ourselves on those things if they're higher end, like the stuff we have. So I'm really excited for the people to like get a really good deal, first of all, with the Ready Set Wellness bundle, and then they can pick a beauty product for free. So that's like hot off the press. I will post it in the team page and all the things. So just keep track of those people. We'll have a system and all of that. But I think that's going to be a really neat way for us to really lead with that bundle, because whenever I talk about that, you'll find whatever you're talking about is what you're going to sell. And so now to have the focus, we kind of went from the wands first half of the month to wellness end of the month with this. I think it's going to be a really great way for us to follow up and have these conversations with people. So, okay, with that said, Christy, I will pass it off to you. And yeah, I'd love for you, like, don't be humble, please, like, share with all the details with us of like all the amazing things that you've done, because I know that you are inspiring all of us, just with what you've done and what we aspire to do as well.
Hey guys, I am actually so excited to be here. And I was at Body for, I guess, about 5 years, 6 years, between 5 and 6. And I enjoyed my time there so much, but I actually had to have back surgery when I was there. I was one of those people that was like, okay, if a workout comes out, I've got to do it. I got to do it to a T. I got to follow the calendar. And so what that led to is I had a back injury and I would like kind of sit out for like 2 weeks, kind of recover, but then I would jump back in and I would never fully recover. And so my last year there, I like went through a year of rehab for my back, but I like couldn't recover my back without back surgery. So I could no longer do the workouts. And that obviously, when you're working for a fitness company, doesn't go well when you're leading a team. Um, and obviously, when you're running fitness groups and you can't work out. And another thing that happened to me was I have to be gluten free and I have a lot of food sensitivities. And I noticed when I was drinking the shake that it was upsetting my stomach. So I no longer could drink the shake and I couldn't work out. So I was in this situation where I didn't feel authentic. And for me, that's a really big deal. I want to be at a company where I can feel very authentic about what I'm offering. And so my team had just hit elite for the fifth time. And I was like at the peak of my income at Body. And so my problem was, though, I felt like I could no longer authentically share. And what I was posting just wasn't what I felt was right. And so I was still friends with the corporate people here at Shackley. And I was curious kind of about what they were doing. And I kept in touch with them. So I had a conversation with them just about like what they were doing and things like that. I tried the products for, I would say like 45 days, and I noticed a difference. I was like, oh my gosh, I could drink these shakes and my stomach doesn't get upset. I feel better. And I love the cleaning products. I love the skincare products. Like, I just loved everything that I tried. And I all of a sudden felt like this is something that I can authentically share with other people and feel really good about it. And I also loved I loved the corporate leaders. I didn't have a relationship with corporate leaders at our previous company. And so I kind of wanted that, you know, I wanted to have that kind of relationship where I felt supported. Um, and so I started feeling like I was getting more support before I even left um, from Shackley than I did at Body. And that was something that I really desired, was just to feel support. I did not have an upline at Body. So that was something I also desired to was to be a part of an upline team. So these were all things that I was looking for. I also wanted a place where I could recruit and I felt like people could win, because I didn't feel like that at Body. Even 3.5 years ago, before people started really leaving, I was already feeling that way. I was already feeling uncomfortable about it. And I honestly hated recruiting people and being like, okay, now sign up 2 family members and you're going to be paying, $300 a month to keep them active. And I just hated that feeling. I loved that you could bring people over here and it wasn't like that. So I like took all these things into consideration and I left without knowing if anybody was going to come with me. Like, not one person was going to come with me. I didn't have anybody in my back pocket. So I told my team I was leaving, and obviously it was very hard because I loved my team, but I just knew I needed to do what was best for my family in the long run. And that was creating a business that I knew would be around forever. I knew that there would be longevity, and I knew that whoever I recruited would love the products as much as I did, and they would get paid for the work that they did, for all the volume that they earned, they would get paid on. And all of those things added together made me love this opportunity and made me I was willing to leave without anybody knowing anybody was going to come with me. I just knew that it was going to work because it was such a great opportunity. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's how excited I was about it. And that's how much I believed in the opportunity. So I came over and I remember telling corporate, like, I I'm like here and I have nobody. And they were like, it will work. It will work. And I'm like, okay. So anyways, I just started sharing authentically what I loved about this opportunity and about the products. And I started attracting people to the business, and I started sharing with people I knew about the opportunity behind the scenes, right? Like, I started talking to people about it. And that's how I started building my team. Um, because I realized there was other people that felt the same exact way I did, and I didn't even know it. Like, I didn't know that other people were like, yes, I feel that way too. And so it became like a really easy conversation to have because so many people felt the same way. So that's really how like my business started, is just reaching out to people and letting them know, like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I changed companies and this is why. And so many people were like, oh my gosh, tell me more. What happened? And I would just tell them my story, but not in like a way where I was like being weird and like trying to like put down like a hard recruit on them. I was just really opening up my heart and telling them like the real reasons why I left and how hard it was, like, and how excited I was for this new opportunity. And I just got on the phone with people and started talking to them and opening up and sharing kind of what I'm sharing with you guys. And I just started having people join me. And it wasn't necessarily from my old team right away. It was from just connections I had built over the years. So that's kind of how my business started growing. And it it's amazing how important connections are that you don't even realize, right? Like these were all people I had built connections with before I had even left or even knew I was going to be going to a new company, right? And so now I realize how important it is to keep connections going and like building relationships. So I make it like I look at trackers and I always kind of hate it when it doesn't say like on there like connections, like talk to people like in real life or talk to people through private message. It will say like I don't know, like talk to people that respond to your stories, but it doesn't really explain what you really should be doing, which is like getting in your like private messages and like really having those conversations with people that are real and real authentic. Like asking about people's families and like when people are sick, like, you know, talking to them about that or all those things. Yes, being social, but also just being real, right? Like um things like that. And like Amber was saying, I make a lot of connections in person through my kids activities and their school and things like that. My kids laugh because everywhere we go, like I know somebody everywhere we go, right? And so that's also how I've grown my business. Just I just know a lot of people through different connections. And I'm telling you that it's fat. You can grow your business a lot faster in person than through social media because people can connect to you in person because like they can feel like how you're genuine you are or like how authentic you are in person over like a message. So I always talk about that too. I don't set up booths places or go to like farm markets. I don't do any of that. I'm not saying it's not a good idea, but I just genuinely like connect with people in person. And like for instance, at my daughter's cheer gym, they'll always be like, oh, so and so is getting sick. They'll be like, oh, contact Christy, she'll hook you up, like things like that. And they'll give them my number. Like I don't have like business cards up there, but they'll just give them my number and be like, call her, she'll help you. And like somebody will be talking about their daughter's skin like breaking out, and they'll be like, oh, call Christy, she'll help you with your daughter's skin. It's just like building those kind of relationships at different places that have helped me grow my business so much. So I just want to encourage you guys. I am actually not like this huge extrovert either. I just genuinely like have conversations with people. I don't like hand out products at places or anything like that. So I want to encourage you guys to do that even if it's a little scary or awkward because because I kind of am introverted too, but I'm willing to do it to grow my business and to help people. So anyway, so that's just a little tidbit there. But the way I like our team is actually one of the fastest growing teams that's ever hit master, that's ever hit senior master. And I really believe it's from the like community and I really believe it's from like us setting big goals and going for them. And so whenever I'm trying to help working with someone and say your goal this month is to hit director and say you're at like 1,000 right now, I always help people reverse engineer their goals. So say you're trying to get like an extra 1,000 this month, which is a huge goal, right? There's 5 days left. Um, Whatever your goal is, I always recommend reverse engineering it. So this is what I always think of is our youth products carry the most PV. So if you're new, I always recommend if you haven't purchased it yourself, then you should as soon as you can. Because like Amber was saying, like I always thought I was going to be this nutrition person here, right? I was never going to sell skincare because that was not like my lane. But I'm telling you, half my sales now are skincare. And I never thought I would be a skincare salesperson. Um, but you have to have the skincare to be able to talk about it. So I'm telling you, if you don't have the skincare, whenever you can purchase it, you should. And it's our like personalized skincare regimen is 197 PV. So that's like a huge
Hmm.
bang of volume right there. And then another thing that we always talk about is like talking to your mom or your best friend about it. Like if you're trying to do like a good volume push, because they're likely to be like, oh, if you're gonna try the skincare, I'll try the skincare too. And that's another huge volume push right there. So our whenever we're in like a big push, we always try to push that skincare because Ready Set Wellness is 100 PV and our youth regimen is 197 PV. So it's almost double. So that's kind of where we lean when we're trying to really increase volume. And I love what Amber said about like when you're selling Ready Set Wellness, if you can give away a youth product, it's so worth it because they'll try it and usually they'll love it and they'll come back and they will probably want to buy a youth regimen because they'll like you can it's like an open door to talk to them about the skincare then. So I love that. And we do that a lot and that really, really helps. Um, People end up loving it. The BB cream is so popular after people use it because it has anti-aging elements in it. It has SPF. And so it's perfect. And you like teenagers love to use it, moms love to use it, like everybody loves to use it. So it's perfect. Um, so I love those. And then I wrote down a few tips for helping get people to close out the month that I use a lot. So I put utilize any promotions. So you just offered one and you talked about it already, Amber. So I won't really go over that, but I love that you guys are offering a youth product. That's awesome. So I also always create urgency. Like I would say like, our company just came out where I get to offer 5 people like this promotion where they get a youth product with a $150 purchase, and I wanted to offer it to you first, something like that. I always try to create that urgency because I feel like people are more likely to purchase, or like only have 2 spots left in my next group, and I know you'll love all the ladies in there, and I really want you to join. Um, I love I love creating urgency. Another thing is if you feel like someone's ghosting you and they're not responding, I always like just I'm real straightforward about it. I'm like, hey, I bet you've been reading these messages when you're in the car and you're like at a stop sign, so you can't reply. That happens to me all the time. So I just wanted to check back in with you because we only have 2 spots left. And I just wanted to make sure that you saw this message and you had an opportunity to reply. I always send that message, and most of the time people reply because they're like, oh, I guess I can still have the opportunity to reply because she thinks I've just been too busy driving my kids. So most of the time people will reply when you send that message. So that's what I usually say, and it works out really well. So I just wanted to share that. And another thing that works really well is if you ask for referrals. So I had two customers post, I did not ask them to do this, but post about their results this week and tagged me to it. And I got sales from that, not because I asked them to, but I'm just saying, like, you can always follow up with customers that are like raving fans. Be like, hey, do you have any friends that would want that you think would love the products as well? So that's something that I love to do. Is like, say if you have anybody, I could offer you either samples or I could offer you like a Starbucks gift card or whatever it is that you want to offer. Um, or if you don't want to, if you don't want to offer something financial, you could offer like an ebook that we have. We have so many awesome ebooks in the tools section. You could offer them like um, our immunity ebook or our protein ebook or anything like that. Let's see. Posting your results, like if you have results already, I swear, like your story and your results is what is going to draw the most people in. Um, so reposting those is always such a great idea. Let's see here. If you have an unboxing, if you haven't done an unboxing of your products, people love to see an unboxing of you talking about the products that you ordered. And honestly, you guys, if you have a Shackley box, you can put products in there that you love. Just close it up and be like, oh my gosh, here's my Shackley box. I want to do an unboxing and talk about my products that I love. And you can just open it up and talk about the products you love and things like that. It doesn't have to, you don't have to say it came in the mail today. You can just say you're doing an unboxing. And people don't have to know it didn't come today. You can always do that. And I always follow up with the people that say not right now. Maybe it was like last month or the month before, and say, I wanted to follow up because I have this special promotion right now. And I thought of you immediately when they told me that I could offer this to 4 or 5 people. And I just wanted to go back because you said the timing wasn't right and see if the timing's right now because we have this awesome promotion. So I always go back with any promotion. Um, so those are my top tips for like following up and creating urgency and things like that. Um, but I feel like it's always in the follow-ups and the messaging. And I don't think it's annoying for people to follow up. I honestly forget to reply to people. And I appreciate people that follow up because I'm one of those people that do forget to reply because I get really busy. So I don't think you should ever feel bad about it.
Yeah, that's
Unless
so
someone straight
great.
up is like, no, I'll contact you if I ever want to do this. That's the only time I don't follow up.
That's so good. I love all those tips because they're all like practical things that you can like write down and just like do, like right off the bat. And do you guys have any questions, like anything that pops up in your mind? I mean, Christy has popped so many directors over the last 3.5 years. So I know a lot of you are going for that or want to go for that soon. Any questions surrounding that or recruiting, just anything that's on your mind you guys want to ask her? I told her she can just stay on for like the first half and then we'll probably work for the second half, but we have a few minutes if we want to ask her any questions.
I'm going to unmute and ask, how do you close off or get people to sign up for ambassador within your short frame that you want? Because like I have so many conversations, but they want to think about it for 2 months. Do you know what I mean? So like, do you have any tips to getting people to sort of make that decision to go ahead and jump before October 1st? Beyond just like a mentorship program, because I've already thrown that out and I'm just like, so I'm just curious if anything works for you with like getting those ambassadors sort of per month that you want, that your goal is.
I always try to figure out, like, I ask them, what is holding you back? Like,
Okay.
what is it that's holding you back? because that way you can address the issue. Um, if it's time, I like to give a story of like if it's because they work another job or if they have young kids, then I always share a story of somebody else that has the same situation that it's working for. And I always am like, you have nothing to lose, but you have everything to gain. Like, because you'll be supported, you'll have training, there's an onboarding system. Um, there's a really good chance you could make, $200 to $500 your first month, like the average ambassador does when they join. So how would that help your family? I try to like put those things in their mind and try to take away like whatever is holding them back. And I really sharing a story of somebody that has been successful with whatever their fear is really helps. And if you need a story, Amber and I can help you come up with a story of somebody in that situation.
I love that. Just honestly asking him point blank. I'm not very direct. And so in the way of when it comes to just like point blank being like, what's holding you back? I have not asked that question. So I love that. And just being more straightforward and just sort of cutting to the chase. I guess I'm sort of like a sugarcoat, try to be too sweet sometimes and just, okay, it's fine, so I like that. I like that. And just like straight up ask. So that's a great recommendation. Love it. Thank you.
Sure.
Other questions? I have one that,
Oh, sorry. I'll go.
oh, sorry, go ahead,
No,
Erin. No, no, you go first. Sorry, I didn't see you. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, if you're in person, especially, and someone just asks you, what do you do? It feels like this job is kind of like this dirty little secret that's like way easier to just share online, but like you get in person and you're like, what do I do? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you have a good way of navigating that conversation that seems natural and not like just start spewing, well, I have these products and like, well, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So funny.
So I always say that I'm a wellness coach and a business mentor. So I always share that I'm both of those things because I don't want to discredit the opportunity ever when I'm talking to someone. So I say I'm a wellness coach and a business mentor. So and then I go into more detail and I'm like, I work for the most clinically proven wellness company in the world. And we help people with their wellness goals, such as, their immunity health, their gut health, their hormone health, and skincare. And then I always say, like, I also help women achieve business goals that they have, whether it's they want to work part-time or they want to work full-time from home. So I get to do both of those things from home. I always share both. And I do that online too. Like I am not a big Instagram person, but if you look at my Instagram page, it says that I'm a business mentor. Like so if someone went to my page, they would see that first. And then it would also say like in my um I don't remember what's called, but in my caption, it would say that I do both.
I love that.
Because
Like keep that in our ear. I feel like that wording is so good. I was like, oh my gosh, and I love how like, well, this is a superpower of yours, but you're just like calm and confident. Like you're just like, you just say it. But that's so smart to have both because Erin, I'm like you, where I'll get somewhere, and especially now because this is so new, and so people are like, so what do you do? And afterwards, I'm always like, what did I even say? I don't even know what I said. So that's so good that you add both the business mentor to it because I think I sometimes err towards the side of just the wellness, but to add the business mentor, that's really smart. I love that.
I think that what it does is it like plants a seed for people that are thinking about wanting a side job or wanting to work from home. So I think that they like start thinking about it and that, maybe it's something that they have been thinking about wanting a side job, wanting some extra money. So that's why I always say, it could be anything from a hobby to a full-time job.
Mm,
When I'm talking to people, because then they're like, oh, wow,
that
that's
is
really
really
cool.
cool. And then you position yourself as a leader too, in that conversation, which is
Yes.
great. That's awesome.
Yes, exactly. And I've learned also, I feel like a lot of people, when they have problems recruiting, they're not presenting themselves online as a business mentor or a business leader.
Mm,
And I feel like that's part of the problem, right? So when somebody's looking to join a business, if they're like, "Oh, I'm interested in Shackley," right? And so they like put that in the search engine, but they go to your page and you don't have anything about the opportunity or anything that makes you look like a leader. And looking like a leader could just be sharing success stories about people on your team in the business, right? Maybe you don't have a team yet, but you can share other people's stories. I feel like you have to be sharing success. And when you don't have that on your page, it's kind of like, is she someone that could mentor me? I'm not sure. But I feel like if you're sharing even your own success, like sharing what you're doing that's successful, and sharing other people's stories, then people will start looking at you as a mentor and a leader.
mm, that's really good. I love that. Great question, Erin. The dirty little secret. That's so funny. It's so true though, isn't it? And it's funny. So when I was interviewed with Roger, the CEO, that was one thing that stood out to me is because he said that one of his goals is to like demystify this profession, how it like seems like this like weird thing, but that he really wants it to be like, no, that's like it's like a legit thing. So I think that kind of goes along with just like your response with that. So that's so good. Other questions for Christy? Question I was gonna ask is like any tips on mindset? Because I know you and I have talked about this and how you have seen it over and over. The people that have come over from other companies, we can feel a little bit beaten down or like, do we really have what it takes? Or how do we get ourselves like revved up to do it again? So any tips that you might have like to help us not fall into those negative thoughts?
So, one thing I do is if there's somebody, this might sound funny, but if there's somebody I'm following that makes me feel discouraged because of their success, then I unfollow them. You don't have to unfriend them, but I unfollow them. If I always look at them and I'm like, oh my gosh, how are they doing this so well? And I'm just not there. I just unfollow them, right? Because there's always going to be somebody that maybe makes you feel that way. And everybody's starting point is different, right? So some people can come over to Shackley and bring their entire organization, right? And so that's completely different starting place than the rest of us. And so we can't compare ourselves to that. So what I do is I protect my mindset. That's one way I protect my mindset. And another way I do is um, I feel like every month it's so important that we each have our own goal, right? So maybe somebody's goal is to get 500 in volume and that's your goal. And that's amazing. Or maybe it's to earn $500 for your family. And that's amazing. I always really encourage everybody to have a goal, no matter what it is, and stick with it and go for it 100% and celebrate achieving your goal. Um, and don't compare your goal to somebody else's goal. So somebody else's goal might be to hit director this month. And when they do that, they should celebrate big time. And when you earn your $500 this month, you should celebrate big time. And that's what I love about this business is everybody should be celebrating everybody's wins. And whatever it may be, that's why I like to ask at the beginning of the month, like what everybody's goals are, so we can track your goal, and then we can celebrate your goal at the end of the month, or your success, because everybody's path is going to be different. And everybody's starting point is different. Like some people have never done this before, and other people have done this for years and already have a network. So everybody, we don't have the same starting line. So that's what I think is how you can keep your mind in the right place.
That's so good. Love those tips. Thank you.
Of course.
Other questions before Christy goes?
Well, I am so excited about this month, and I feel like you guys are doing amazing. And for your team to hit senior executive coordinator in just a few months is a really big deal. And I was telling Amber this the other day. Um, this is a really big rank at Shackley. And you guys probably don't know, because I didn't know when I started. I didn't even know the ranks. Like I didn't know the orders. I didn't know what they were called. I didn't know anything. But this is like a really, really exciting rank to hit. And the fact that your team is doing this so quickly and together is just so, so exciting. And I am just so excited for you guys. And I
Oh,
like follow in my reports, and I like get so excited watching all of your numbers go up and everything. And if there's anything I can do to help you all, please reach out. I am 100% available and happy to help. So we're going to have a big celebration when you guys do this.
oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Would you mind, can we take a quick picture?
Of course.
With everyone? Okay. Hold on. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Christy. We really appreciate your time.
Of
It means so
course.
much.
Anytime. So good to see you guys.
You too. Okay, we'll see you later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. All right, was that helpful? I feel like she just like has kind of a way of sort of bringing it down to like a level that seems approachable. And yeah, like we're going for this rank. I couldn't even tell you. I think what it's called. Like I don't know what these ranks are called. I know we need to hit 30,000, so I just put that. And we need a few directors, but we're gonna have more than enough directors. But it is really cool, like to see how this can grow when you have people that are excited about, what we're up to. And I hope you guys are encouraged already by the fact of just like having interest in your products again. I know that, for me, towards the end of my time at Body, it was harder and harder to get interest in the products. And it's really neat to be at a place where, everyone's excited. Like they want to learn what we have. And the skincare has been, I don't know. So I almost like didn't want to stop with the wands because I felt like we were just getting like traction and people were just like starting to order. And so I was talking to Erin about that and I was like, hey, if you have people that want to buy the wands, like feel free to keep that up. Like, like obviously I'll make suggestions like, hey, let's switch to the wellness or whatever, but please know that whatever you guys want to lead with is the best. Like whatever feels most authentic to you at any given point in the month, like you just have to know what's best for you. I'll just kind of, and the thing is too, is like, I think we're all learning still. And that's kind of the fun part about being in the beginning together is like, it's all on, like, we're all building this from the ground up together and it's all kind of trial and error together. So I think one thing we learned this month is that it is beneficial to have a portion of the month focused on beauty and then a portion of the month focused on wellness because we have so many more products to offer. But the beauty really is the reason that we're this close to this 30,000 because all of a sudden in the middle of the month, I was like, holy cow, like this is actually selling and it's like going somewhere. So that's really cool. Um, yeah, I agree, Nicole. It's like fun that we're doing this together, right? And I think I was telling Christine that and others too that are like, hey, I wanna, Nikki, I was telling you that too, like that want to recruit. They're like, okay, well, I want to recruit. And I was like, yes, like I think in the beginning is like one of the best times to recruit because it's okay that you don't know what you're doing. It's okay that like everyone's new because we're all figuring this out together. You don't have to be an expert. In fact, my favorite leaders to follow are the ones that like are always humble enough to ask questions and want to keep learning and growing. So like I think that as a leader for your future teams, like don't be afraid to ask them to join you just because you might be new too. Because a lot of you, I have a feeling if you were doing more of those behind the scenes conversations like Christy's talking about, and I need to do more too. I think that we could attract even more people to the ambassador opportunity because so many people do need more income right now, especially, you know, everything is so expensive. I don't know about you guys, but like Jake and I are constantly talking about like, how does everything cost so much money? Like, how? And I don't feel like we're like super extravagant. Like, we have always been like, you know, just get what you need kind of thing at the grocery store, whatever. And it is so expensive to live right now. And so that is something that people don't really like to talk about because we all want to feel like, oh, we're all fine and everything's fine. But the reality is a lot of people need more income right now. And we have a vehicle that actually can help people get there. And so I think to talk about that a little more too is going to be beneficial. Okay, so we have 10 minutes left. And I know I said this is going to be a work session. This is more kind of just like learning, I guess. I am gonna do a work session, an actual just like work session on Friday morning for anyone that can hop on. What did I say? 9 a.m. No, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. I'll record that one too if you can't hop on live. But I am gonna do like an actual just like straight up work session. But to end this, I just wanted to touch on that deal that I had mentioned in the beginning. Does that make sense to everybody? The Ready Set Wellness bundle? So the thing with that bundle, I'll just recap that in case, because I always feel like I need to hear things a few times. So the Ready Set Wellness bundle it's only available the very first time that you place an order with Shackley. And so it has the Meology, so a month of the personalized vitamins. It has 2 flavors of the Life Shakes, and then it has like another product of your choice. A lot of people will do the 7-day cleanse, but there's other products that you can choose too. I think Christine said she just had a gal that chose the Rest and Rewind, and she's like so pumped about that. So you can do whatever you want, like as far as what products to choose. But when they order that, then they can choose a free beauty product, the mascara, the cleanser, or the BB cream. So I think that'll be really good, especially for people that maybe had shown interest in the past, or even for us just to be talking about that again. So I think focusing on that, but also like Christy said, the beauty is really where it's at for escalating your like volume quickly because those products are just more expensive. Even the ones, you know, they're like $125 for the set. Those add up quickly too because the PV is I don't exactly know what the PV is. I'd have to look. But those are adding up quick. So because the PV is a little higher with beauty products. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is making sure everyone saw that list of story suggestions that I put in one of the chats. Um, and we can keep adding to that list of things because just sharing in your stories consistently is key and about a variety of different things. But then the other piece would be just, and this is, I'm talking to myself when I say this, is really honing in on what we're posting to our feeds. Like that's like my next focus is, okay, how can we grow on social media? Because stories are great because it's like taking care of the people that are already at our table. But the next step is going to be really focused on how do we grow on our social media channels? What kind of content do we want to post? So I think we'll really dive into that, you know, more here in the beginning of the month when we have a little time. I always feel like month end for me, how I view it is like you just get into the weeds, it's nitty gritty, it's like behind the scenes conversations and follow-ups. And then I always take like the first or second day of the month off. And that's just how Jake and I have always done sales because I push so hard at the end of a month that like if I don't take that time off in the beginning of the next month, I will burn out. So like I push really hard and then like when Jake was in med device sales, he would always like schedule a massage or something for like the first of the month. So because after he would push. And so, but I do think it's important after a big push to then take a little time to like go, okay, let's get caught up on laundry, or, all the stuff that you get behind on when you're like actually pushing really hard in your business, or let me just like sit for a minute and have a cup of coffee and not be on my phone or whatever it is. So I love to push, but it is really important for us not to burn out and to take that time. So beginning of the month, I anticipate us having a little more time to focus on social media and how to grow that. So maybe just be thinking like, what do you really enjoy talking about? Like, what do you like to share about? What are the things that like you can share about like without really putting much effort in? What are those things that you're most passionate about? And it doesn't have to be anything related necessarily to like just wellness. It could be mom life. Like I was telling Christine, that's what I think I need to focus more on again, is just sharing about like mom reflections and mom life and like going back to that, because that comes very natural to me. But like she was saying, she's a personal trainer. So for her, she wants to do more workouts. Like she wants to add value and share workout moves, which I think is awesome. So be thinking about like, what are the things that you really enjoy or that just come very natural to you? Like Erin, when I think about you, I'm like, you're so good at like homemaking, and like your house and your decor and all the things always look so homey. Like she's always decorated for every holiday. Like it's just like, it's so fun to follow that kind of stuff. So, something like that, not to mention, as you guys might have found out tonight, Erin's hilarious. Like, she's so funny. So I think bringing out more of your humor too, but, figuring out like, what are those things that like light you up and that you can just share about, because, whether we like it or not, I think niching down is kind of what it takes to grow on social media. And so to pick something though that you actually feel excited about is important. Of course, sprinkling in the business, but I wanted to put that on your radar just to sort of brainstorm when you have a minute about like next month, because I'm hearing from a lot of you too, like, okay, who else can I talk to? And that's going to happen as we share new content and grow more on Instagram and social media. Okay, do you guys have any questions like right now, anything at the top of your mind, or like fears, things that you're like nervous about, or things you want to talk through, or just anything on your mind right now? We have 4 days left, which is plenty of time, but we do like, we can't, let another day slip by like without really getting after it. And I know we all are. Like we had a big day as a team today, so that was good. But just like every day really counts. And the worst feeling is to be like on the 30th at like midnight and you're just stressed out. So the more we can do now, the better. And like Christy said too, find a goal that you're excited about. So maybe you set a goal in the beginning of the month and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to get that, but I want to feel good about ending the month. Reassess, redo your goal, whatever you need to do. I never want you to feel like you're not winning here. Like I want you to set yourself up for success, and that is going to take some time, like Christy said, to kind of figure out what that looks like for you. But there are so many ways to win here. And so just want you to go to the end of September feeling like, you've really done what you needed to do yourself. Any thoughts, anything that you want to talk through? Kenzie, you are crushing it as well. Could you share anything that, any tips that you'd have? Because you've had a lot of repeat customers, a lot of people that are like, they might have started with something and now they're like all in with more products. So any tips that you have? Sorry, I know you have a little one.
No, it's okay. She just got home from church. So, okay. So I would just say like really kind of like Christy said, like those one-on-one connections. I have a very similar story to Christy's. I was over with Beachbody and then my mom passed away from colon cancer. And I just like had to take a step back and really reflect on like what health is. And with Beachbody, I just felt like it was all like about fitness and really promoting people to, like she said, like staying with the workouts and this and that. And I just really found out like after my mom passed away and like with my health, how there's just so much more to health than working out. And working out can cause like so much more stress on our bodies. And so really like creating those relationships through like one-on-one connection and just like really being there for people and asking like where they're at with their health, and then like meeting them where they're at and then helping them within that, I feel like has really just like helped me take off, like just being super caring and passionate and all those things, like really showing people you care versus like being super salesy, I think has truly helped me a lot. I'm trying to think what else. Really just talking about the products. I mean, you guys, these products sell themselves. So just showing you're using them and stressing the importance of supplements and using supplements. Because truly, before I got my integrative health practitioner certification, like I didn't even know what supplements were, quality supplements were. So I think really just educating people on how important it is to take quality supplements is super important too. So
That's so good. And you do a great job. Maybe if you guys want, you should join her free group on Facebook because she does a really good job of educating in there and like her unboxing, but like she's in there a lot. Like you do a better job than I do. So like education wise and all of that. So I think that would probably be a good thing for us to just look for ideas, you know, from you with that too. So thanks for sharing. That's so
thank
helpful.
you.
All right. Anyone else want to share anything or anything that's working well or that you're like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Nikki, you said you had like something at the salon happen in person?
Yeah, yesterday, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yesterday when I was at the salon, I was chatting with one of my clients because I have several of my clients on Facebook. So they see bits and pieces of the things that I've shared and I'm very transparent on social media. If you guys haven't figured out, I'm like I share, I overshare everything. And so my clients knew that I was going through some things. And so she was just kind of checking in on me and she's like, "What are you doing? Like what's helping you?" Because when she came in, you could just tell that she was struggling. Like she's really inflamed. You could tell she was exhausted. And I'm a listener when people are in my chair. I don't know what it is about being a hairstylist, but when somebody's in your chair within the first 5 minutes, boom, they just dump everything on you. And so we're always like, okay, is this going to be just hair or is this hair and therapy today? What is it going to be? Because if it's both, it's going to be double the price. So she just really opened up to me that she was just really struggling and she's sleeping terrible. She's waking up tired. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Jamie, yes, that was me too. And then that entered the conversation or opened the conversation up to have a chat about the vitamins. And then I sent her the free health assessment while she was processing in my chair. And so she's going to be sending me her results when she gets them. She hasn't completed it yet, but she said that when she gets the results, she's going to send them to me. And then I said, let's go ahead and chat over all of that because if that spikes your interest, you know, there's different offers and stuff that I can get you set up with to get you the best deal. So that was a really huge win to me because in the past, I have tried talking to my clients about like total solution packs. And it's like, you got to kind of have to weave the conversation and like manipulate the conversation a little bit. And with this, you don't have to do that because it speaks for itself through our stories and our experiences. So I always try to be super transparent and as open as possible with people because that's how they're really going to connect with you too. And so when people know that I've been struggling with anything and then they see me coming back to life, they're like, what the heck is she doing? So there are people watching you, you guys, like just keep showing up in your stories and don't think that you're annoying. I have been sharing about these wands like every single day in my story. And every single time I'm excited because I'm like, these freaking wands are the best. You guys, everybody needs a wand. Like, and that's why I had so much interest in those wands is because I was repeating myself all the time. So that's all.
That is awesome. And I think you're so right. Like we can feel repetitive, but then even today I just did like a quick thing about the wands and I'm like, you know, in my head, don't you guys, I have those thoughts too, like, oh my gosh, should I really share about these wands again? But then I'm like, why not? Right? Like, why not do a quick boomerang? Sure enough, if someone's like, what are these things? Like, I've been talking about them every day and they have not seen about these wands. So it's just a good reminder that the repetition is really what it takes, and you are not going to annoy people. If you do annoy them, then they'll just stop watching your stories, and that's fine too. So anyway, but yeah, you guys are doing so great. Mandy, I can still see your skin is like is looking amazing. It's like glowing. All of your skin. I feel like when I look at your stories, I'm like, oh my gosh, we're looking so good. So anyway, well, thank you guys for hopping on. I will post the time for, well, I'll post the recording, but then I'll get the time for Friday morning in case it works. And I'm happy to do a call over the weekend too. Cause what is Monday month end? I should know this. Is Monday? No. Is it Monday's the last day? Yeah. So I'm happy to hop on a call and do work sessions all weekend too. Yeah, Monday. So, okay. Well, thank you guys so much for hopping on. It was awesome to see all of you, and we'll be chatting in the messenger chat. All right. Bye.